righty, we are live. Thank you for the troopers there in the chat. As you saw there, we were battling some issues with the delay there, but here we are, as promised, live. We have a lot of people that are very probably impatiently waiting for a raffle at this point, right? Guys, if there was ever any doubt in our loyalty to the game of baseball, and Slim, let's give Slim a shout out here because we have Notre Dame in the national championship as we speak. Slim is a lifelong Notre Dame fan, loyal, very loyal, and actually, most Notre Dame fans can't even say that they went to Notre Dame. But Slim, technically speaking, you can say, right? I mean, you got that certification.
I do have a certification from the University of Notre Dame that I have obtained last year. It's for teaching English language learners. So it's it's great. Both my teams played last year, but we're dedicated to the Phillies here at the Red Corner. There's no way I would miss a day at the job here to talk about baseball.
And as Chris is talking, touchdown Buckeyes.
Yeah, but I feel like you can accurately, in good faith, say I went to Notre Dame. You know, you're not saying you have a degree, but you went there.
I went there. I can say I went there. I visited.
You went there
before, but I don't take it that far.
No. Anyway, just kind of wanted to kind of put that out there. You know, we are a baseball show. Sunday morning, we were talking about, right before the Eagles started, our little side chat, we were arguing about a Bobby Abreu who was a Hall of Famer, right? So we will always be loyal to the game of baseball, but we'll also try to make this a tight episode because we do have some football to get back to, especially Slim. So, guys, let's start this off a little funky like we do every week, all right? Here we go, right? You got $20 in your pocket, all right? You're going to one of our typical tailgates. So let's just say you got a 3-hour window. I'm dropping you off at Jetra, right? Let's keep this PG now. Let's keep this PG. You got $20 in your pocket. What are you getting for your tailgate? For the Phillies.
Parking with $20.
All right. So let's assume that you're sneaking in there. So let's start with you, Bones.
What are we getting for the tailgate? Just like me, or like we going as a group?
Just you. So what do you get with that?
What am I? I can't even get a case of beer with $20.
You get a 12-pack?
I guess I gotta go 12-pack. Gotta go light for the tailgate. How long's tailgating? It's 2 hours, maybe.
We said 3 hours.
3? I'm gonna be short on beer.
Look, this is the scenario you're in. You have to make a decision.
I'll be dipping into your beer like I usually do, because you won't finish that many. But yeah, I guess like a 12-pack and a bag of ice.
12-pack.
That's all I need.
He's going full alcohol. Slim, what are you going with?
I think you had to make a food play, and since $20 isn't much for me, it's something like go to your favorite sandwich spot, anywhere you can get a sandwich and a drink, because hoagies, cheesesteaks, whatever it is, are about $15 now. A drink's going to run you about $3-4. So that would be my move, is just get myself filled, get myself a drink, and then go watch the game.
All right, love it. Okay, so we see where our priorities are. We got an active chat already here. We got Willie D saying, I can't see Slim. Turn the lights on. Yeah, are you in a cave over there? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, let me see if I can help here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't let the
his shirt's bright enough.
Shirt's bright. That's exactly right. All right, guys, let's transition here. We had from that goofy scenario, let's get to some sad news here, right? So a lot of baseball legends have been leaving us, and R.I.P. Bob Uecker. Bob is he's former major leaguer himself, a guy that former Philly, right? Yeah, he former Philly himself, but also kind of a unique scenario, right? Because he became more famous after the fact as a commentator for the Brewers, most famously, but also, Bones, I'll tee this up for you, because I've heard you quote him for 20 years. So you want to talk a little about him and what he was involved in?
Yeah, the guy's a character and part of the movie Major League 2, all them just a funny guy, and of course in them movies, just like the Indians were so bad, so he was just like the drunk announcer, and then got good, and he, just rode the story with them Indians. But yeah, sad day the other day when he passed away. 90 years old, lived
90
the
years.
life.
You had a good run. And Euchre's interesting, right? Because I think it was the name. Was it Harry Doyle? Is that right?
Harry Doyle.
Harry Doyle. Yeah.
Yep.
So his role as Harry Doyle is interesting, right? Because the Major League movie series is, classic, especially for baseball fans. When you watch that movie, I bet you a large contingent of people don't even realize that that's Bob Uecker. They just think he's an actor playing this guy, right? He's almost taken on that role of that character so well that just a bit outside, right? Like all those quotes that he's, you just hear over and over again. That character has almost got bigger than who he was, which is unique in the baseball world. But yeah, so shout out Bob Uecker, R.I.P. Man, you're absolutely a legend.
I just think it's interesting with Bob Uecker that obviously with all these broadcasters, especially the local guys, the timing, right? The timing of their calls is always so big. But here's a guy who has comedic timing as well as the broadcasting timing. So his talent, I mean, he really should be up there with any of them. I would have loved to been able to listen to him more, be frank with him. I kind of got into him after hearing Bones for 20 years.
Right, and he's famous for his sense of humor, right? We've heard all those stories that
him with
going around now.
And stuff, going back and forth, ripping it. So yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, he's kind of funny because he's a TV personality. He was genuinely funny, right? So I think that's what we're talking about there. He was a genuinely funny guy who happened to also be in the broadcast booth every night.
100%. Again, our R.I.P. But Bob Uecker, let's transition here, gentlemen, to piece of news, right? So the Phillies, and about to butcher a name alert here. So the Phillies add Japanese right-handed pitcher. we'll all give this one a go. Koyo Aoyagi. He was signed as a non-roster invite, right, to spring training. So minor league contract. Somewhat of a side armor guy. What do we think about him? So kind of the question I'm going to pose is pretty simple, right? I think this is an exciting first Japanese guy we've had since 2008, which is wild. But what are we thinking here? So is this a name that could potentially actually be a piece or nothing burger?
I think we got to add something to the Red Corner manifesto. If you're being linked as a swing guy, you're a stinky guy. So that's what I'm guessing. I heard this swing thing so many times this offseason, and I don't have any confidence in any of these guys. They all are, to me, unknowns. I'm just hoping for the best. The only thing I heard with the Japanese player that we're getting is the delivery's different, right? So it would kind of change it up. That would probably give him some kind of advantage. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I hear you there. Look, obviously we have not had success with bringing Japanese names to the squad here. Now, Bones, who are the last two Japanese names we've had?
Sho Taguchi.
Correct.
And Tadahito Iguchi.
Tadahito Iguchi. And Tadahito Iguchi, back in, I think it was 07, 08, we had him a couple different stints.
07.
07, there you go. He was actually the first Asian player we've had in our entire history. And that was 2007. So Slim, you're 100% right. Like, whatever we've been doing over in the Asian market has not been super successful.
The funny thing with them, we had, first off, their names are extremely similar sounding, right?
Oh, yes.
And then the second thing is, I think we had the one guy for 1 year. He went somewhere else, and then we had the next guy, the same as the next following year. Double checking on that, but that's kind of hysterical, right? We had two guys back-to-back years, almost with the same names.
We only had Tadahito Iguchi for like a month and a half. Like the Phillies made the playoffs in 07. He was like a big part of I think it was August 30th, 2007. They had a big comeback against the Mets during a business person special. They won like 10-9. he scored the winning run, but when they acquired him, it wasn't in time enough for him to be on the playoff roster. So he didn't make the playoff roster with the team that
I
year.
remember that.
That's so odd. That's so odd with those rules.
That was like the waiver claims. It was like after like August 15th or something. So he
Yeah.
wasn't able to be on the playoff roster.
And listeners, keep that in mind when we get into our discussion later on. Remember what he said about those deadlines and the qualifications, because we're going to get into something later on, I think, that touches on that.
And Chris is talking about these swing guys. He's the one that brought up the like 6-man rotations earlier this offseason. So he's the one that started all this swing stuff. But I think it's a good move. We'll see what he's got. It seemed like he pitched pretty well over there, and then maybe like good things happen here, and he's able to bring somebody like a step above to come over, and then it goes from there.
100% get Slim.
No, I'm still based on that. I'm still grounded and believe about the whole 6-man thing. With this guy, with the benefit being his delivery, right? They're saying he's going to change up the look. Changing up the look to me only means out of the bullpen. So if he's starting a game, it's not really changing too much up, in my opinion. Maybe for like an inning. I think it's more effective to have a wonky looking delivery out of the bullpen. So
that's basically what it's for.
Right.
Exactly. And listen, like you were saying, Bones, like this, he's kind of a stud, right? Like over in the NPB, which is the second best league in the world, he was good, right? Like, so this isn't like a guy who wasn't really good over there, because he was. And he's not like washed or anything like that. So it's an interesting move, right? Like, the question is, like, why didn't someone else grab him? Why is he getting picked up in this manner, right? So there's definitely questions out there. But I think it's a flyer type move. So do you think, because I think there's just as likely as a scenario this is a nothing burger as like he's also a guy for us. So what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think he's actually going to be pitching for the Phillies this year?
Yeah, I could see it. Like, better than Taijuan Walker. And like the reason he signed like this is because he's played so long over in that league, so he doesn't have to enter this like where they gotta like put a bid up for him. Like these other guys, like Sasaki didn't have to do it because he's younger, but he was only able to get so much money.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like a lesser player, so he didn't have to go through all that, like being placed and then the team getting like whatever money just to talk to him, and then he gets his contract.
And then if he doesn't make the team, he goes back to Japan, because what does that non-roster invitee actually mean?
Yeah, he's not guaranteeing any money from the Phillies. Like they already got like their 40-man roster set up. They don't have to cut anybody for that. But if he was to make the team, they would have to replace him with somebody on that 40-man roster.
So instead of the neighborhood guy getting the free tryout, the free tryouts go to guys in Japan now.
Yep.
That's right. But no, I think it's exciting, right? It's, like you guys said, seeing a guy, from a different culture, different country that we don't see a lot, sidearm delivery, just kind of bring something in. I think it'd be fun to watch. All right, chat. We're getting close to that time where we're going to be giving our live raffle of our Aidan Miller card, which I have right here. So we'll be doing the live raffle. So if you have not yet already entered, it is not too late. All you have to do is comment raffle, or you can comment anything in the chat. And we'll accept it. If you're a new participant in the chat, we've already had, Bones, what is it, like 76 entrants?
Yeah, like we're pushing 80, 85 right now.
Yeah, so listen, decrease the chances of the existing
this
people
bowl
and throw your name in the hat. So we got a real deal card, Aidan Miller, top Phillies position player prospect. Throw your name in the hat. Get a little chat in there. We're going to do the live raffle. We're going to do it in, we'll say, 5 minutes. All right? We're going to do that in 5 minutes, chat. So tell your friends, tell your family. I see you guys in there. A lot of good activity. We got some score updates on Notre Dame.
Did you know that saying chat is like the new bro?
Chat is the new bro. What do you mean by that?
So how you were just using like, yo, all right, chat, kids use it just in these kind of chats on their streaming, and they also use it in their group chat. So like, it's just like, yo, where we at, chat? And like they say it out loud and stuff now.
Oh, I see what you're
kidding
saying.
me, right?
What's
What's
that?
that?
You're kidding me, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's
What
hilarious.
they'll say like, "Yo, chat, we going to the
Right.
playground later?"
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hey, man, there's always going to be a time when you look back on the young generation and it sounds weird, right? And then they're looking at us and they're saying what we sound.
You see exactly where they get
Good
it
chat.
from.
Look at these assholes doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Exactly.
All right, boys. So we
Raffle.
are getting close here. We're getting close. Tell the people. But before we get our raffle going, we're going to transition to a little Hall of Fame talk. Slim, I'll let you kick it off. Former Philly closer, 2 years with the team. Billy Wagner, right? Very exciting flamethrower guy. He is eligible
Sorry, I'm
for the
cutting
Hall of
names
Fame.
here.
What's that?
Cutting names here.
Cut names?
Yeah, more people coming in, man.
Look at our chat, bro. Our chat's out of it.
Yeah, our chat is wild. We got a oh man. Raffle. Yeah, so Hall of Fame, Billy Wagner. Give me some commentary on that, Slim.
I'll tell you what, Billy Wagner story, right? Me and my dad was always the game for a couple innings, get out, or let's not even go to the game and let's go out to watch the game. One time we had tickets right after we got Billy Wagner. We were with my grandmother and my Aunt Lisa, right? They were both also not big time. They were complaining. They were ready to leave, right? And I remember we were a little bit high up, and I thought my dad was going to lean into it because he always is trying to get out of the games too. And then, long story short, he went, "This guy actually throws 100 miles per hour. We're going to stay and watch it," you know.
Yeah.
So that was like, yeah, to me, Billy Wagner is 100% deserving.
That's a great story because it's 100% true.
Yeah, true talent, and other things like even Derek Jeter. These players had their own, their own radar gun guys. And Jeter said the only guy he actually ever saw throw 100 was Wagner.
Well, the crazy thing about Wagner is the classic switching of the arm, too, right?
I was going to say that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bones. I don't want to steal your
No,
thunder.
go ahead.
That's it, man. I mean, it's almost impossible to believe, right, that he broke his arm. Was it in high school, Bones?
Yeah, like grade school or high school, he broke his arm, and then he was down for so long, so he had to start pitching with his other hand, and he decided, I'm going to stick with this one. Went to southpaw, and he more so for, like, he knew he could do it, so, like, the lefty, like, pitcher is like a unique thing, so getting more looks that way. And, boy, it pay off for him.
And Wagner came to the Phillies at kind of a transitional period, right? It was right before we were the time of the late 90s, early 2000s, where we were either losing or kind of in no man's land. And then he was that big name that was an exciting signing.
Yep.
During that era, right, he was kind of sometimes overlooked by Mariano Rivera and what was it? Is it Trevor Hoffman?
Trevor Hoffman, all them guys.
Right? So during that era, talk a little bit about, like, Slim. First of all, you think this is the year he's going to get in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. No, like you said, I actually forgot about his broken arm stuff. But again, he wasn't a big guy. I don't know his exact measurements.
5'9".
I know he
5'8".
wasn't a big dude. And I remember watching him and being like, how's he pitch so fast? And really, he's a classic example of turning that body, torquing it, and swinging it, you know? Like, yeah. I pushed this back. I'm about to demonstrate how he would look, but he really did torque his whole body with that arm and gun that ball.
He had a violent delivery.
Yeah, it was awesome. He was a great player to watch, and he was kind of, he had a little bit of an attitude, I guess a lot of closers do.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I know there was definitely some drama with him after he left with us. Like, wasn't he jarring with people and such?
Yeah, he went to the Mets.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He went to the Mets.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, we got him like after like they signed Tomey, so
Right, it was
Tomey
after
was here in
Tomey.
'02, so I think the bank opened up in '04. I think that's when he signed here. So it was
Yeah.
right before like the Astros were still like he left them and they were like doing well. It was just before they went to the World Series against the White Sox. So he comes here and trying to get the Phillies over the hump. Didn't work out. Like he played against like I think his teams kicked the Phillies out of the like playoff race a couple years in a row.
Yeah.
And here go these two.
Yep.
But when he signed here, so he was first year Citizen Bank Park. The Phillies bullpen was actually going to be up top, closer to the fans. And Billy Wagner went to them and said, "Yo, if there's a brawl, how are we going to let the away team get down there first? And we got to come down all these steps." So that's how the Phillies bullpen is on the lower level now instead of on the higher level.
That's a great story. I don't think I ever heard that before.
Yep. And he's
I
going to
mean,
be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so you think this is the year?
Yeah, I think it's it. And like going off like the public thing that's trending, he has numbers trending up from what they were last year. I think the last I seen it, he was at like 83% or something.
Yep.
He's at 84.6 now.
With
Okay,
like
he's in.
Little less than half the ballots are revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like his numbers are going up, and he'll probably just like make it by like within like 5 or 6 votes. Sounds like.
Yep. 48% of ballots reporting.
Slim, I'm glad you kind of told that story about being excited and staying at the game to watch Wagner come in, right? Because nowadays, where less and less teams have that steady, he's our closer guy, right? It's kind of lost on a lot of younger fans that was an exciting part of the game, where you're sitting there and part of the excitement is hearing that music or watching his dramatic walk to the mound, and you're saying, no, regardless of, obviously Wagner's coming to the game, it's most likely a close game to begin with, right? So it's already that adds to the excitement. So that's a whole piece of the game that we were very spoiled with because we went from Wagner and ultimately we had Brad Lidge. So that era was just a fun time for pitching and for closers.
Yeah, all those closers, as soon as you say their names, they got an entrance song like a WWF card that's linked with them, And they still have it now because, I hate to say it again, but look at the Mets, right? The Mets guy comes out.
Yeah. Now they got the lights and all like they're at a college football stadium.
Yes.
Gee.
Yeah, that's one of the rare things where we can even give them damn, that's pretty awesome. Watching that horn, whatever it is.
We're gonna think of something because you remember that when we were stinking and those Mets dudes came down and threw the first pitch out and trolled the whole fan base.
Yes. All right, so it sounds like we're all kind of in agreement that this is the year that Billy is in. In the spirit of time, we're going to talk about our general thoughts on some of the Phillies players that are on the ballot now and in the future. But Bones, let's get that raffle going. Chat, or should I say, bro? I don't see any. I don't see any more entrants. So let's get it going.
So I got to write any down. I don't have to write none down. All right, I'm shuffling here. I'm shuffling.
I think we're good here. We added everybody.
I'm looking. I'm looking at you guys. I'm not looking at the bowl. Yep. I'm shuffling. I'm shuffling. This is for the Aidan Miller. Show that card again.
Yeah.
Rated 10, right?
Yep.
And this guy, I don't think he'll be up this year, but next year, this guy's going to be playing for the Phillies. All right. Now let's see. So the giveaway. This is our second giveaway that we did, right? So the winner of the Aidan Miller card. Matt Wyszynski.
Matt Wyszynski.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You are the winner of the Aidan Miller card. We'll be in touch. Devin will be in touch with you.
Yep.
Congratulations. Everybody stay in. Like I said, there was like 85 people we got in there. So people are listening. People are watching us.
So congratulations. Stay tuned. There's more where that came from. we have some, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. So congrats again there, Matt. We'll get that sent over to you. All right, boys.
Ohio State drive.
What is the score of the game?
7-7.
7-7. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna get you out of here soon, Slim. So, guys, let's talk here about the Phillies that are on the ballot. Former Phillies. So the big three, right? Billy Wagner, yeah, he's an Astro, right? So Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Bobby Abreu. We had an intense argument about Bobby Abreu over the weekend. So let's just start off there. Let's keep that going. Let's keep the natural flow of that argument going. Slim, where do you stand on Bobby Abreu getting in the Hall of Fame, either now or in the future?
Yeah, I don't think Bobby Abreu is a Hall of Famer. I think he's in the Hall very, very good.
Right.
I don't think he won enough, right? I absolutely don't think he won enough. He played, I don't think his defense was there. I know he had the Gold Glove, but anyone who watched that year, that was not a Gold Glove year. Yeah, I mean, I don't. What's the case for Bobby Abreu to get in? We sat here. Nobody. I don't think anyone thought he was a Hall of Fame player as we watch him play. That's for sure. And it seems like that's what happens a lot of times. It seems like a lot of these players benefit from nostalgia. But what I really think, at least in Bobby Abreu's case, is that he was he's underappreciated during his time. He has the one big year where he wins the home run derby. I think we trade him a little bit later to the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole narrative flips. So he gets points for being underrated to where now he's vastly overrated if you're throwing him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, shout out to the chat here. Steve Costello saying that voters won't forget that magical home run derby. I'll tell you what, that might be a swing factor. That was a special derby, man. And I didn't see that one coming back in real time.
And did he win the Yankees?
Rose, what do you think? Where are you at?
Touchdown Ohio State. That's number 2 during the show.
Nice.
But obviously I'm a big Bobby Abreu fan. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was, even though sorry, a little underwhelmed
over there, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, even though he wasn't on many winning teams here, they were in contention with this extra wild card. They would have been in the playoffs, and as we all know, who knows what happens when you make the playoffs, Right. And going off of right fielders that are in the Hall of Fame, Abreu would have been, he's second in doubles out of all right fielders that are in the Hall of Fame, only behind Hank Aaron. He has 570 something doubles compared to Hank Aaron's 700 or something, or 600. 13th in RBI, 12th in runs scored, and he's top 5 in stolen bases, 400 stolen bases. Power's a little low, but he got on base. He was the prototypical player for today's game just 20 years ago.
I think that's well said, and I think Slim hit a good point on kind of the romanticizing, right, and the looking back and changing how you feel about it, because as the time goes on. So Bobby never really connected with the fan base, right? Especially during that time when it was, the Angelo Cataldi, Howard Eskin that controlled a lot of the narratives, where it's he didn't hustle, he was lazy, this, that, and the other thing. But the thing about Bobby was Bobby Baseball, right? That's his nickname. He fills up the box score. When you look at him from the modern day sabermetrics, war-based outlook, it's ridiculous. We were talking about this offline. He had that 7-year stretch of a 5+ WAR, which is really, that's ridiculous, right? So that's a Hall of Fame type resume. Now, did I think I was watching a Hall of Famer when I was watching him? Probably not. Does that matter? I don't even know, right? That is the question I feel we all go back to. But does that really matter if you look at the stats and when you compare it to other Hall of Famers, he is a Hall of Famer. All right, but let's keep moving here.
How many Hall of Famers have done this, right?
Yeah.
0 playoff appearances with the Phillies, 5 years below 500. His total record with the Phillies, 683 wins, 699 losses. But it gets worse. After we started coming around and appreciated him, the last year we had him, we started the first half of the year 40 and 47 with Abreu. We trade Abreu, we go 45 and 30 without him. That's like a 20-game swing, okay? And then the next year we win the World Series. We're close to it in 2 years.
No, we
Yeah,
went to
I
the
mean, look,
playoffs the next year.
there's a strong case on both sides. There's no denying that. There's a strong case.
Just think, he was the number 3 hitter in a dominant New York Yankees lineup when he went over to the Yankees in 06, in 07.
did
Yeah, his longevity. He has the longevity factor.
Ibanez, was hitting home runs after we got rid of him too.
Ibanez wasn't with the Yankees at that point. Jeter was 2.
Ibanez,
Jeter was 2.
Thing, bro.
Jeter was 2. Abreu was 3. A-Rod was 4.
And 4
Then
years
they had
later,
Giambi,
we got rid of old
Beast.
ass Ibanez, and he was doing the same exact thing Abreu
Hall of
is.
Famer.
No one's calling Ibanez a Hall of Famer.
All right, boys. Let's move on to the next Philly.
We got all next year. He's not going there.
Jimmy Rollins. Slim, we'll start off with you like I did last time. Where we stand on him? Now, future, ever?
Man, it's tough, right, with Jimmy Rollins. I would say he's not a Hall of Famer too, right? When we talk about, I want to give him his kudos. He was 99 percentile on defense, but I just think the inconsistencies at the top of the order with him batting. You know, when he was good, we were unbeatable, but that was sometimes far and in between, I felt like.
So you're no on Jimmy as well. Bones, where are we at on Jimmy?
I don't think he'll get in.
Okay.
I don't think he should get in. Like Chris brought up about Bobby Abreu. I don't know why he was saying he's like lazy. I don't know, maybe his defense or whatever, but the guy stretched doubles, singles to doubles, doubles to triples. And Rollins does the same thing, but there's a lot of, like, I guess, like he matured later, but late to stuff. Didn't really listen to Emmanuel when he leading off. That got him bounced out of the leadoff spot. Just stuff like that. But as, like, the numbers and compared to other, like, shortstops, he's, like, on the fringe.
Right.
Like, Hall of Fame. And I think that's what hurts him. Like, he does have the MVP year, but I just don't think he'll get in.
Okay, so you're both no on Rollins. I'm yes on Rollins. So I'm big on positional, where you stand positional, where you were in your era at that position. And when you kind of zoom in on the categories of existing Hall of Famers, right? So over that, call it 10-year decade, where Jimmy was probably the second best shortstop, right? Overall, after Jeter, he was a better defender than Jeter. And if he wasn't second, he was firmly top 3, in my opinion. He has the MVP. He has the World Series. He has the defense, right? And he has the longevity. Say what you got to say.
No, I said I would have to go season by season. There was tons of years where shortstop was super deep.
Well, no, I'm not going season by season. I'm going over their era.
Overall.
Yeah, we're going their era. You can't go season by season in baseball because there's no one's going to be number 1 every year. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. Like, we're looking at this from an era. And he was, a top 3 shortstop probably during that time. Consistent. He was there. I think he has, 20? Does he have 2,500 hits? He's got a lot of hits. Maybe not
most hits in Phillies history.
Most hits in Phillies history. Played shortstop. Again, I think he's in.
So
I don't think he's going to get in.
The other thing where I put him different from Utley being in and him not in is I think Utley was more of like a jump starter for the team. Everybody says Rollins is. That's just because he was leading off. I think the team really rallied behind Utley and Howard more than a Rollins type deal.
Interesting. I think Jimmy was the leader of the team. I really do. I think there can be multiple
because he's outspoken, like we're the team to beat type thing.
Right.
But
all right, we're gonna do a tight 35 here. We're gonna end off with probably the most hopeful of the 3 for actual chances of Hall of Fame. Chase Utley. Slim, is he in? Is he out? What do you think?
I don't think he gets in this year. I do think he's going to get in next year based off the numbers. Personally, again, he's one of my favorite players, but I do understand the argument with the short career peak. I understand that.
Right.
But
Bones.
I think it will be like a couple years before he gets in.
Right.
Probably like 3 to 4. I didn't really look at the list of who's like following up for next year.
Cole Hamels is next year.
No, he's not. He just retired this year. 5 years. 5 years.
I thought Cole was eligible.
Nah.
Sooner than that. We'll check that.
Well, he has no chance, right?
No, he does not have a chance. But
I think he does.
Right.
I think he does. That's for when he's up. That's for when he's up for eligibility.
Yeah, we'll check into that because I think it's actually based on when he last played. And when was he last in the big leagues? 2022?
Now, he pitched during COVID, I think, that 2020 year.
Well, then that's even further then. I said 2022.
Yeah, and I think he was like doing like minor league stuff. I'm saying like in the actual like major leagues. I don't think it was till like 2020. It was back to like 2020, 21.
5-year thing that would.
But if he was playing in the minors, it doesn't.
All right, we'll fact check that after the fact. But anyway, so
I think Utley's like 3 to 4 years away. Like based off, right now he's trending at like 54%.
You can go to
that will go down.
You can see the ballot numbers and see the percentages. Right now, with 48% reporting, Utley's at 53.2%.
Yeah.
Rollins at 21.8%, and Bobby Abreu's at 26.1%. All right. So that's why my prediction is I think he probably, if not this year, I think he's going to. I don't know because with 50% in, if he can get above 60% this year, I think he looks good for next year.
He won't be above 40.
No.
Who?
Utley. Utley won't be above 40%.
What are you talking about?
Okay, but he won't be after all them ballots are revealed.
You think he's going to drop 14 points on the next 52% of ballots coming in?
Yes.
Okay. We should make a bet.
We better chug on that?
There's a wager.
Yes.
There's a wager. I love it.
There's zero chance he drops to 40%.
Let's get some chat call out here. So we have Willie D been saying Utley is a Hall of Famer for years. Love it. We got Ryan A. Carlos Ruiz equals Hall of Famer. We got some Chooch love there. Love it. And then we got Steve here saying Rollins has the longevity factor over Utley and Howard along with the numbers. He'll get in. Only way Abreu gets in the Hall of Fame is if he buys a Cooperstown tour ticket. That's about it. Love it. So Utley, Farmer, bro, you're right. Utley definitely is going to get in. And we have to think about this the way that the voters are thinking about it, right? The voters are more and more analytics focused. It's just the way it is. Utley's, we talked about this. So Slim and I were battling online with a Mets fan troll, like a month ago. And we basically taught him about WAR. And he was thinking about it the complete opposite way. But anyway, long story short, the WAR 7 is a real big stat for consideration of Hall of Fame and all that. It's basically measuring your peak and your prime, right? So Utley's WAR 7, so the best 7 years of that time, he's second in the entire league after, guess who? Albert Pujols.
Yeah, Pujols.
So during that time, the only person who was more valuable analytics-wise was Albert Pujols, who obviously is a, first ballot guy, right? So Utley's going to get in, no doubt about it. And Utley does have Hall of Fame hair. Good call, Bill, in the chat there. Anything else you guys want to get off your chat? I know we got Notre Dame playing right now. How much are they down? 7?
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to close off with?
I got
on this day in Phillies history, the same way we close every show. Good.
All right. On this day in Phillies history, speaking of Chase Utley, They signed him to a 7-year contract extension
Wow.
back in 2007.
How'd that go?
I think that's the year they traded him.
2007?
No, 2014.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the year they
I
traded
know.
him. So that worked out.
I think that's right. I think that's right. It's either 2014 or 2015.
2015 is the year Hamels got traded. He threw the no-hitter
Right.
against the Cubs, so I think it was 2014.
I think that's exactly right.
2010, Bazooka Joe Blanton signed a 3-year contract extension.
Shout out Joe the pitcher.
And we got a couple birthdays. 1987, Chase Darno, not to be confused with Travis Darno,
Right.
birthday today, and Jake Midget-Minded Diekman.
Jake Diekman, baby.
Terrible pitcher.
Yeah.
Who we acquired in exchange for Cole Hamels.
Yes. Good call out there. I was going to say it if you didn't. Boys, another great episode. I appreciate Slim, you being a trooper. And just for that, I'm going to say go Irish. Let's hope you get a comeback here.
Bryce Harper at the game.
All right, boys. Thank you, chat. Yep. We'll see you guys next week.
OH.